These are the 3 most effective ways to lose weight from the easiest to the fastest. Over my years personal training so far, I've been able to use these different methods with different clients that are all at different stages of their journey. Now, depending on how consistent you are as a person, as an athlete, as a nutritional inexpert, these will be able to get you your goal of losing weight, depending on which one you'd be more likely to follow. You just watch to the end of the video, see which option works for you. Just want to kick things off with the first, most easiest way to lose weight: flexible diet. Flexible dieting is used so far across the board from so many different people at different stages of their journey because of how easy it is to do. I'll leave voice cracks in, I'll do it again. In simple terms, this method of dieting means you can eat whatever you want up to your calorie limit. If you know you have a stressful day on a Wednesday, a Thursday, on a Saturday, then 3 days, you're going to up your calorie intake, because it means you can stick to whatever you want on the other days, and you make sure on them other days your calories are lower so that you are guaranteed by the end of the week to have lost weight. So in the simplest terms, download an app like MyFitnessPal, track your calories, understand what the limit is you should be able to reach in a week, split it between the days, some high days, some low days, don't go over that amount. Leave the carbs, leave the fats, leave the proteins, just worry about calories for now, and that will kickstart the journey so easy. The second best way, or closest to the fastest way that I've seen for people to lose weight, is carb cycling. Now, this one takes more planning and it takes more consistency, but if you can nail it, it is definitely going to be useful, primarily leading up towards when you want to lose the weight by. The carb cycling is exactly what it sounds like in terms of carbohydrates. You are going to have some days where you are having more carbohydrates, and then you're going to have other days where you're having less carbohydrates. Keto dieting isn't for everyone, and it is most definitely not for me. It sucks. So the best way to go between energy systems and get the benefits out of ketosis, which is when you are not having any carbohydrates, is to go from carbs to no carbs, and you keep on alternating the days like that. Now, this requires more planning because you will need to know which days of the week you are not having carbs on. And again, like we said in the last one, if there is easier days that you can stick to that diet plan, then you stick to that diet plan on them days. The way that I liked to run this was I had a set number of carbohydrates and proteins that I had to hit each day. And the fats I wasn't really tracking so much, because in ketosis, your body's going to use more fats. So even when you're having your normal glycogen days from the carbs, the fats are still going to get used rather than stored away as fat. You may have Monday, Tuesday eating normal, and then you're going to have Wednesday keto, Thursday normal, Friday keto, Saturday normal, Sunday keto, and you carb cycle days like that. Some people only need to do 1 day a week where they might carb cycle, and in that day they're going to drop a couple of pounds and then stay the same. It's that drastic. And then the people that want to lose weight faster, they would add extra keto days in, which I've had some clients do, so that they can see the drop in the weight more frequently. The planning side of this becomes really important when you're looking at your carbohydrate days. The keto days aren't really an issue because it's really hard to go too high in your calories during a keto day, and your body is going to burn through more calories on them days. Now, the carbohydrate days, you need to stick to a set limit. You don't want to go too high over your carbs to the point where the keto days are pointless. You want to stick to about 150 to 200 grams of carbohydrates on them days, and use the energy from the carbohydrates to train, recover, and make sure that you are actually going to be able to complete the keto day because you've enjoyed yourself on the carbohydrate day. So to get the most out of this method, I would recommend starting on 1 keto day a week. I would try and keep your carbohydrates on your normal days below 200 grams, but bordering 200. And then on your keto day, I would be having under 30 grams of carbs on those days. As you start to see slight bits of progression, if you feel like you are good and you can consistently stick to that, then fantastic. You can start upping the amount of keto days you can do in a week without feeling the worst effects of the keto, because your body is adapting to it as you are going. The third and final way that I would recommend to some people lose weight is a military diet plan. Now, the reason why I put this as the last option, as the hardest option, is because it's incredibly boring and I don't use it a lot. I would use it depending on the circumstances. If I'm in a prep for a competition that I need to be ready for, if a holiday is coming up and you want to look the absolute best you physically can, this is probably going to be the one to follow because it is so easy to see the progress every single time. The way to do this kind of diet successfully, the reason why I say military is because it is very routine. You will have the same meals every day, the same amount of food every day, nothing changes. Whatever you have for breakfast, that's the same. Whatever you have for your dinner, that's always the same. Dinner, lunch, I was gonna say lunch, tea. Whatever you have for your tea or dinner, depending on where you are, that stays the same. As you go through the weeks, what you can change and can manipulate is twofold. Now, you have your training volume and you have your food intake. Because you know that the food's going to stay the same, if you don't want to go hungrier from the food, you would increase your training. Now, your training can go from having a 10-minute Stairmaster at the end of your session to a 20-minute Stairmaster at the end of your session, depending on time. If you do that, your body will be in more of a deficit. It has to be in more of a deficit. That is how energy systems work, meaning you will lose weight no matter what you do. Okay. The other option is you have the same meals every day. You don't want to change your training. You don't have a lot of time to train. You are a busy person. You start taking little bits of food out of the diet. I've done this one many times, style of diet, normally before a race or some sort of competition where I want to have the edge over my training. If I want to lose weight for a longer run that I've got planned, I will stick to this diet. And because I can almost pinpoint the exact date I need to weigh a certain amount at, it's very easy on this diet to just tick off at the end of the day, I've done it again. I've done it again. And for motivation, coming towards your target, watching the scales drop gradually is pretty good. But by the time you get to the competition or you get to the holiday that you might have planned, you'll understand this diet works really well, but unfortunately, because of how simple and straightforward it is, boredom will take over and it's not for everyone. Right, so who do I think would benefit the most from these diet plans? I would happily say anybody that doesn't want to quite give up on the food that they enjoy, someone that wants to have a drink every now and again, someone that wants to go out for meals with family and wants to go and do all these things without stressing about their food that they're going to be having. Absolutely flexible dieting is the way to go. You haven't got to stress. You know that you have that high calorie day and you just chop the other days around depending on what you want. Easy for that one. In terms of the carb cycling diet, if you are somebody that you have more time to prep your food, plan, stick to something more consistent, and you haven't got an end goal specifically in mind, you just want to do the diet, this one's going to give you so much motivation to keep on going, because getting to the end of a keto day and knowing you're allowed carbs the next day, like just that small win of sticking to that one day a week makes the rest of them so easy, and you will see progress from that. And then I'd have to say the military diet is for anybody that has an end goal and is desperate to achieve it. If you have something coming up, big one that I always get is a holiday. If you wanted to do something where you might need to be in front of other people, like an event, like a wedding, a party, or something on your timetable coming up that you want to look in your best shape for, if you have a set amount of days, then a military diet is probably going to work the best. You will guarantee the results by the end of it. And to finish up, I just want to say thank you very much for watching the video all the way to the end. If you can, like the video and ideally subscribe to the channel just to support me and what I'm trying to do for everybody else. If you have any questions about anything that we've addressed in the video, either leave a comment on this video or it is triumph.training on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to get back to anybody that needs any support. I'm always happy to help. Thanks for watching. And that's a wrap.